Hi class, in this video I am going to go over the syllabus and then I am going to show you how to navigate the course. So the first thing you want to do is obviously you want to go to our home page and then you want to go ahead and either click on syllabus. If you click on syllabus, it will download to your computer. However, if you just want to view the syllabus, you can just go ahead and click on the magnifying glass and it will go ahead and show you a preview of the syllabus. So I'm not going to go over the entire syllabus because you can go ahead and read this. Make sure that you actually read the syllabus because you will be having a syllabus quiz. So I am just going to go over some important information that I feel needs some explanation. So the first thing that I want you to be aware of is my contact information. Here you have my email address. The best way to contact me is through my email address or through Canvas inbox. You can also go ahead and call my office phone number, but obviously I am not in my office, so if you do call, make sure that you leave a voicemail so that voicemail gets emailed to me and then I can go ahead and call you back. Another option is to attend my office hours. I am having office hours Monday through Wednesday from 12 to 2 p.m. via Zoom. I'm also available by appointment, so if you can't make these office hours, then I will gladly meet with you at a later time or on another date that works better for you. Just however, keep in mind that sometimes I do have meetings and obviously I have other obligations, so just let me know what your availability is and I'm sure that we can work something out. So here you have some information about prerequisites and things like that. As far as the textbook, we are using a free online textbook, so you do not need to buy any textbook. So I think that is great news. And we're also using some resources that I have linked on Canvas and under the modules. So you really don't need to buy anything for this class. I do recommend a USB flash drive that's for when we were face-to-face so that you could print and things like that in the computer lab. But if you have access to cloud or anything like that, obviously you can go ahead and save it there, or you can save it on your laptop since, like I said, we're not printing out anything right now. So moving on, like I said, all of this information you can go ahead and read on your own. Here we have the list of assignments. As you can see, we are having 3 major essays. Each one is worth 100 points. And then we're also having an alternative perspective common assessment. This is an assessment that all English 111 classes are going to take, and this is worth 50 points. We also have 8 writing exercises, which are worth 10 points each, so that's a total of 80 points. And then we also have 10 discussion questions, which are worth 10 points each. The quizzes come out to 60 points, and then we are going to have an APA pre-quiz that's worth 20 points and an APA exam that is worth 40 points. And of course, attendance and participation is worth 15 points and the portfolio is worth 150 points. So in order to earn a C, you must obviously attend and participate, which means that you should be active in the discussion posts and obviously log in every week to the Canvas course and submit your assignments. You should also submit a passing portfolio because, as you can see, it's worth a lot of points, so it'd be very hard to pass the course if you don't submit a portfolio. The other thing is you also need to pass the documentation exam. So we're talking about this one. The APA pre-quiz is just sort of to see where you stand when it comes to APA, but the one that you should definitely pass is an APA exam. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. Here I go ahead and I talk a little bit more about the assignments. So as you can see, our 3 essays are going to be they're all going to be argumentative, but different types of argumentative essays. The first one is a classic argument, the second one is a proposal, and the third one is a visual analysis. Obviously, I have instructions for each of these essays, so if you go to Canvas, you will be able to see the instructions and more details. I also talk a little bit about the writing exercises. The writing exercises are typically about a page, and they are due on Sundays. We're also going to have 10 discussion questions, and for the discussion questions, in order to get full points, you want to go ahead and look at the rubric, but basically what you need to do is you need to go ahead and write a well thought out response that is grammatically correct, and you're responding to my original discussion post. However, you also have to reply to a classmate. So for the discussion questions, in order to get full credit, you have to submit 2 responses. One to me, the original question, and one to a classmate. Now it's important to note that your response to the original post has to be submitted by Thursday. The assignment technically does not close until Saturday, so a lot of people tend to forget, but please submit your first post by Thursday. And the reason why I do this is because sometimes I have students who want to finish their discussion questions or their discussion posts early, but there's nobody they can reply to. So in order to avoid that, everybody should submit their first discussion post by Thursday, and then they have until Saturday to reply to a classmate. Now another thing to keep in mind is that not posting your first response by Thursday will affect your participation grade. Sometimes I've had students who post both of their responses on Saturday night, and I take off a point or 2 from the participation grade because they were not participating throughout the whole week. And keep in mind that even though the class is online, you're still expected to spend about 2 to 3 hours per credit doing homework and things like that. So you are expected to participate during the week as well. So that's why the first post is due by Thursday. Then we also have quizzes, and quizzes are due on Saturdays. And please keep in mind that quizzes can only be taken once. The only quiz that you can take twice is the APA exam. And the reason for that is because that is an exam that you have to pass in order to pass the class. It's also important that you look at the classroom management section. Obviously, like I mentioned, this class is online, so you want to make sure that you have reliable internet, but you also want to make sure that you are an independent learner and also responsible. And when I say independent learner, I don't mean that you are doing everything on your own. Obviously, I'm here in case you have any questions, so please feel free to contact me if there's ever anything that you don't understand or that you have questions about. But what I mean by independent, I mean that you should be able to adhere to deadlines and things like that. So make sure you write them down. You forgetting a deadline or not looking at the due date of an assignment are not valid excuses for missing an assignment. Also, not having access to reliable internet or having computer issues, those are also not valid excuses. So, computer malfunctions, Wi-Fi or internet connection issues, all of those don't really count as valid excuses. Now, of course, I am a pretty understanding person, so if you do have issues with your computer, obviously you can go ahead and talk to me and we can try to work something out, but please keep in mind that there's only so much that I can do. Which brings us to the attendance and late work policy. Physical attendance is mandatory, which means that you should be logging into the course every week, possibly a few days a week, but that also means that you participate and you submit your work on time. Just logging in does not mean you're participating or physically attending the class. So you actually have to submit work, which is one of the reasons why I don't accept late work, because like I said, you have to be showing that you're doing work throughout the week. So just make sure that you submit everything on time. The due dates are listed on the syllabus and also on Canvas. So if you ever do have some sort of emergency or some sort of issue that prevents you from turning in an assignment on time, please let me know. we can always talk about it and make the necessary accommodations. However, if you miss an assignment deadline, don't email me the assignment without asking me first, because sometimes I might tell you, okay, I'll open up the assignment for you, submit it through Canvas. Sometimes I might tell you the assignment is closed, go ahead and email me the assignment. So make sure that you email me first and explain the situation, and then we can work something out. I also know that sometimes things happen and they go on for a few days or a few weeks. If that's the case, like I said, just email me and we can discuss it. I know that sometimes students are embarrassed or they don't want to talk about it, and sometimes they wait too long. So by the time that they finally talk to me, it is too late and the semester's almost over and they've missed a lot of assignments, and it's just impossible to make them up in the few days that we have left. So it's always important to let me know when something happens or you're having some sort of issue so that we can address it before you fall too far behind. So like I said, I don't accept late work. Please adhere to the deadlines. However, I am flexible, I am understanding, so if there are any issues, I believe that communication is the key, so just please let me know and I'm sure that we can work something out. The other thing I wanted to mention when it comes to classroom management is courtesy. Please make sure that you're respectful of your classmates and instructors at all times. Whenever we have discussions, make sure that you adhere to the topic, you adhere to the course, you don't bring up things that are not relevant, nor do you use offensive or derogatory language. I think it's very important that we're respectful of people, but I also think it's important to be respectful of different opinions. So it's okay to disagree, especially because we're going to be talking about issues that are controversial and they lend themselves to debate and argument. So it's important to be open-minded and see where other people are coming from. And it's okay to disagree, but disagree in a respectful manner. And of course, you know, I do participate in the discussions. Even sometimes if I don't post a lot, I am still reading them throughout the week. So if I do notice anything that is inappropriate, I will delete it and I will let you know. But to be honest with you, I have not had issues with people posting inappropriate things. Most people tend to adhere to the discussion. And if it's your first time taking an online class, I do have some guidelines for what we call netiquette for online classes, which basically just means to be respectful, avoid caps because it implies shouting, do not share any confidential information, avoid bad mouthing. So, you know, things like that you can go ahead and read if it's your first time taking an online class, or if you haven't participated in online discussions, definitely go ahead and read these guidelines. So this brings us back to the documentation exam. As I was saying, you are required to take an APA exam and you are required to get a 70 or higher in order to pass the course. So if you don't pass the APA exam, then you are not eligible to pass the course. And to be honest with you, I have not had that many students fail the class because they failed the APA exam. I think I only had like one student, maybe like 7 years ago, who got like a bad grade on the APA exam and she didn't pass. But she had a second attempt and she passed it on her second attempt. So even if you're not familiar with APA and you've never done it before, we are going to learn, and I have an APA module, and when you take your APA exam, you are free to use the module, your notes. I provide an answer sheet for the APA practice worksheet that we do. I also provide an answer sheet for the APA pre-quiz after I've graded them, just so that you can learn from your mistakes. So please don't worry too much about that. Like I said, even if you've never done APA before, by the time you take the exam, you should already be pretty familiar with it. And of course, if you ever have any questions about APA, I am glad to help you. And then this talks a little bit about the portfolio. The portfolio consists of 3 things: a cover letter that discusses your progress as a writer, and basically shows that you've met the requirements to pass the class, a PSA poster, and also a revised essay that we've done throughout the semester. So you get to pick one of the 3 essays that we did, and you get to revise it to show how you've improved as a writer. So those are the 3 things for the portfolio, and of course there's a specific module for the portfolio, and there are also some more instructions to go along with the portfolio. So here we have important dates, and over here we have the tentative schedule. So basically I broke it up into 3 columns: date, reading assignment, and due dates. So for example, for this week, the first week, you have to read the syllabus, the Getting Started module, and watch this video. The assignments that you have due are discussion number 1 and quiz number 1. For the following week, you have to read this, and if you notice, I go ahead and I tell you which volume of the textbook you can find this reading, and then I tell you what is due for that week. So I hope that it is pretty easy to follow. So now that we've gone over the syllabus, let's go ahead and go over how to navigate the course. So we are back on our home page, and when you go to our home page, of course you will find my email, and like I mentioned, the best way to contact me is through my email or through Canvas inbox. But I also have the link to my office hours, so hopefully it works the entire semester. Obviously this is the first time that I do Zoom office hours, so hopefully this link keeps working throughout the entire semester. So all you have to do is every Monday through Wednesday from 12 to 2 p.m. anytime between 12 and 2, if you want to talk to me, you just click here and I should be available. If I ever cancel office hours or anything like that, I will let you know under the announcement tab. So here, like I said, you will find the syllabus, the DACC syllabus supplement, and you will also find some links to the modules. So basically, I broke up the modules into a module depending on the assignment. So there's a module for each assignment that we do, each major assignment, and then I also have some modules that can serve as resources. So you can go ahead and click on those here, and then I also have a link to each one of the textbooks. These textbooks, you can go ahead and download them. They are PDF files, so you can go ahead and download them so that you can go ahead and read the assigned chapters. And these textbooks are mostly they mostly serve as resources as well, so they go over information that is useful to you. So let's go ahead and click on the Getting Started module. Here you will see a lot of important information. So obviously what you want to do is you want to read this first. And here we have the syllabus video. Now, obviously this is from last semester, so I had 2 videos. This semester I'm just combining the course navigation and the syllabus video together. So when you look at this, you're only going to see 1 video. I also list modes of communication, the program student learning outcomes. I should say that it usually takes me about 24 to 48 hours to reply to you. If I don't reply to you within that time frame, I probably did not get your email, unless it's the weekend. On the weekend, I'm obviously not on my phone or on my computer the whole time. So if it takes longer than that, I possibly did not get your email. And then I also talk about grading. I'm an English teacher, so most of the classes I teach are English classes, which means that I have to read a lot of writing and a lot of essays, and I do read everything that my students write. So typically it takes me about 5 to 10 days to grade an assignment. However, sometimes I do it sooner or quicker. Sometimes it takes me longer because I fall behind. In case I am behind, don't worry, I will let you know under announcements. I will post an update under that week's announcement, and I'll let you know that I'm behind. That way you don't have to worry about, oh, did she not read my assignment? Like, what happened? I'll let you know if I'm a little bit behind. For quizzes, obviously those are graded automatically, except in some cases there's a short answer question, so I have to go and grade those short answers. So your final grade for the quiz won't be posted until I go and grade the short answer. short question, the short answer question. Also for writing exercises, I do provide feedback, and sometimes I use a rubric. For the quizzes, I don't provide feedback because sometimes I do on a specific question. If you got it wrong or something like that, like I'll let you know why it was wrong. But typically, I only provide feedback for the writing exercises and the discussion, as well as major assignments. So please make sure that you read the submission comment feedback, but you also read the feedback that I leave on the actual assignment itself, and you also look at the rubric. And to look at the feedback that I leave on the actual assignment itself is a little bit tricky, so make sure that you look at this handout in case you're not really familiar with how to do that. In this handout, I break it down. And also in this video, I talk about it, and I also show you how to submit an assignment in this video. And one of the things I do want to mention is that, it is a writing class, so I do provide feedback, and sometimes I correct certain things, and I make suggestions about how to improve your essay. So just keep in mind that feedback is meant to be constructive. Do not take it personally. It's not, if I tell you that you have comma splices, I'm not trying to attack you personally. I'm just saying that so that your writing can improve. So if you ever have any questions about the feedback I left, or, if you're consistently getting the same grade and you want to improve it, please feel free to contact me. I'm happy to discuss your grade. I'm happy to discuss how you can improve it. I'm also happy to explain my feedback so that it makes better sense. I used to be a tutor back in the day when I was in college, so I like working with students one-on-one, and I like explaining things to them. And so don't ever feel like, oh, I don't want to ask her because it takes too much time. No, if you have a question about feedback, if you have a question about your grade, I'd be glad to discuss it with you. Also, plagiarism is something obviously that we should all avoid. For every major essay that you submit, I use the Turnitin software. Now, I do not use this. Well, I should say the Turnitin software lets you know in your originality report what percentage of your essay is plagiarized. Now, sometimes it's like about 2% or something like that because you use sources, but sometimes it's a lot. So I do not use this software to try to catch you plagiarizing. I use it so that you can avoid plagiarism before you submit your essay. So what I suggest you do is that you submit your essay before it's due and you get your originality report. That way you can see if there's any plagiarism. And if there is some plagiarism, you can go ahead and fix it before you submit it for the final submission. Now, sometimes it'll say that it's plagiarized because of your reference sheet or because of quotes. I have it programmed so that it doesn't take that into consideration, but sometimes for whatever reason it says the reference page is plagiarized. So again, watch this video. It shows you how to access your originality report, and if you have any questions on this, you can go ahead and let me know. I also offer extra credit in the form of attending workshops. Right now we are having workshops via Zoom, so you can get extra credit by attending. I post the workshops, the dates and times, under announcements whenever they are made available. And also, if you go to the tutoring center, the Academic Readiness Center, right now they're doing it online, but if you submit one of your 3 major essays and the portfolio, you get 5 points extra credit on the assignment. So like, let's say you write your proposal essay, you submit it to the tutoring center, they provide feedback, you fill out the summary of tutoring form, which can be found here by clicking here, and you submit it with your essay, you get 5 points extra credit on the essay. So let's say you had an 85, you're automatically at a 90 for that essay. So keep that in mind, because those points are specifically added to your essay grade. However, if you attend workshops, those points are added to your overall grade. So there's different ways of obtaining extra credit. So please make sure that you read this. Obviously, whenever you read this, it's going to tell you about college events. Right now, we're not having any events. So the only way to get extra credit is to attend the Zoom workshops and tutoring. For the ARC tutoring, you do have a tab right here that you can go ahead and click. However, you do have to be added to the ARC writing tutoring page. So if you are interested in being added, please let me know. Send me an email and I will add you, or I will talk to the coordinator so she can add you. Here I talk a little bit about the formatting of the essays. We are still using APA 6th edition, even though they have moved on to the 7th edition. We are still using this one, and obviously all essays are formatted double-spaced and using APA style. Should you have any questions about Canvas, you can go ahead and visit the frequently asked questions, and also I have the local information for NMSU. Obviously, our assignments are mostly due on the weekend, and on the weekend they're not available. So I suggest using Canvas during the week. That way, if there's any issues, you can maybe try to reach these people, Canvas support, before the weekend. And now they're only offering Canvas training online, but if you feel like you need more practice with Canvas, you can go ahead and sign up for some online training. And here we have the Netiquette for online classes guidelines again, and we have the book linked again. So this is the first page that you should read in the module. Then I also want to remind you, or maybe let you know, that you have access to Office 365 for free. So if you currently do not have Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel or PowerPoint, you can go ahead and access it by downloading Office 365. I bought a laptop a few years ago, which was a PC, and I initially wanted to buy Office 365 on my own, but it's really expensive. So I decided to download this, and it works great. And this summer I bought another laptop. It's a Mac, and I also downloaded this, and it works really well. So whether you have a PC or a Mac, you can go ahead and download Office 365, and you can go ahead and use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and some other tools. They even have a cloud on there, so you can go ahead and save your assignments. So definitely, if you don't have Word, please make sure that you download it because it's free, because you are an NMSU student. So definitely take advantage of that. Next, I go ahead and show you how to set notifications on your laptop, and also how to set notifications on your phone. Make sure that if you don't have notifications on, that you definitely look at this. Even if you think you have notifications on, make sure you look at this anyways to make sure that you get notified when I post assignments, when due dates, announcements, things like that. Here we have the Zoom Code of Conduct. Basically, it tells you how you should conduct yourself during a Zoom meeting. It also tells you how to prepare. So basically, the issue with Zoom, there have been some safety breaches where like random people join Zoom sessions and things like that. So because of that, it's important that you use an appropriate meeting ID that pertains to your class. It's also important that we can see your face, things like that, that you arrive on time, that you're respectful, because technically it is a classroom or it is an academic setting. So you want to make sure that you are that we're able to see you, that you're dressed appropriately, things like that. So make sure that you read this. And then we also have Zoom and Canvas instructions. So if you're new to Zoom, you can go ahead and read this, and it shows you how to use Zoom. So this is the Getting Started module. And as you can see, once we go back to modules, I also have Pandemic Information, a module devoted to the pandemic resources, and here is the Getting Started module. So basically it provides all the important information that you need to know about the class. And then it has the first 2 assignments that you should do for this week. Now the rest of the modules, like I mentioned, they are organized by subject. I've tried to organize the modules weekly, but it works better to organize them by subject. So here we have the writing tools module, which you'll have a quiz over that. And then we have the rhetorical devices, APA research, fallacies, and of course for your first essay you want to go ahead and look over this entire module because it provides information that will help you when you're writing that essay. And the same applies to the second essay. This information will help you. Like for example, I have an outline that you can follow for the essay. So moving back to the list of sections over here, obviously if you want to go to the discussions, you can go to discussions and you can find all of our discussions there. I do have the general help and question forum, and basically you can post a discussion here anytime that you like. And this is just for general questions. So if you have a question about an assignment, or if you want to share an upcoming workshop with the class, you can go ahead and do that. Don't post any personal questions or any questions regarding your grades or anything like that. Those are private. If you do have a question about that, go ahead and email me. But you know, this is mostly if you have a question about the course, extra credit, a workshop, things like that, you can go ahead and post them here. And here we have the other discussions. So for example, our first discussion, it tells you, answer the following questions. Where are you from? Your major. So to reply, you have to click on reply, and then you can go ahead and start typing. And once you are done typing, you can go ahead and click on post reply and it shows up. And if you want to reply to a classmate, you just go ahead and click on reply below the classmate's post. Now something else to keep in mind is that sometimes I'll ask you to post a link or to post a YouTube video. So if that's the case, you can just go ahead and go here, or you can embed an image or embed media. Or provide a link by using a link to a URL. So just keep that in mind, that sometimes you are going to have to link things or post a YouTube video. So it's important to know how to do that. And once you submit your first reply, you're automatically subscribed. So it'll send you a notification of when new discussion posts are posted by your classmates. The other thing I wanted to show you are the announcements. Like I mentioned, every Monday I post an announcement, and basically the announcement lets you know what's going on that week. I provide an overview for that week. So here is my first announcement, and as you can see, I also link the assignments that are due for that week. So I think it's just really helpful to keep up to date with the class, but also to keep you organized, because some people, they look at the syllabus and they look on Canvas and it just gets confusing. So by looking at each announcement, I go ahead and I tell you, this is what you have to worry about for this week. And I also let you know, like, if I notice any issues, like a lot of people didn't cite properly, or I noticed that, a lot of people were not submitting their first discussion post by Thursday, I'll go ahead and I'll send a reminder through announcements. Also, if there's any glitches with Canvas, or I have to change a due date, or if I'm canceling office hours, I will let you know here. I also post announcements for upcoming workshops. So definitely check announcements, because that's the way I'll be communicating. Sometimes I might go ahead and email the class as well. But for sure, make sure you check announcements on a weekly basis, and if you set your notifications for announcements, they will definitely let you know when I post an announcement. So this brings us back to our home page, and I've gone ahead and I've showed you the best way to navigate the course. And I know this video is a little bit long, it's over 30 minutes, but I really wanted to explain some things in detail and go over the syllabus. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I will be glad to answer them. And also, if you ever encounter any issues with the course, if there's a broken link or a file's not working, please let me know, because you know, I do upload everything and I have to set up everything, and sometimes I make mistakes, or sometimes Canvas doesn't update things and there's glitches and things like that. So if you ever notice any type of error or anything like that, let me know so that I can go ahead and fix it. So this concludes our course navigation video. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to working with you this semester.